So hi everyone, welcome back. This is part 4 of our little discussion around e-assists. Today I'm going to be talking about what my options are. Now I've decided to put e-assist onto Trini the recumbent trike. If you haven't seen parts 1 to 3, I'll put a link in the description below. So if you've seen parts 1 to 3 of my little series here, you'll already be aware that the whole reason for making this series was because I'm contemplating getting e-assist put on this trike, but I didn't really know that much about it. So I started this little series as a way to try and create a discussion and create a resource, not only for myself but for everybody else viewing it via the comments, hoping that everybody else would chip in and give us a little bit of knowledge about what their e-assist is and how they've been using it, the advantages and the disadvantages. And so far that's worked really well. There's been hundreds and hundreds of comments over those last 3 videos, and for that thank you very much. But back to the point. So my knowledge of these e-assist motors is very limited. So what I can't do today is sit here and try and show you all the different makes and models of e-assist. That just isn't possible. I don't know enough about them. And I would be doing you an injustice to sit here and try and make out that I'm some sort of expert on e-assist, when I've been, as I say, at pains to point out that I don't know that much about them. So that said, what I wanted to do in this video was just basically point out the 3 generic types of motor that I know that exist. There may well be more. If there are, then please feel free to point them out in the comments. But also, if I could, is to ask you, the viewers, my subscribers, to let me know in the comments below what sort of motor you have, what you use it for, what's it attached to, what sort of bike, and what are the pros, and if you can, 1 or 2 of the cons. It's always difficult criticising your own kit, I know, but if you can come up with a con, that would be really good. But then hopefully in that way we can build up a database below in the comments of the different types of motors that people are using. And of course I'm not just talking about recumbents there, any type of cycle, no matter what cycle you've got, if you're using an e-assist on it. And if you could leave details perhaps on the battery as well, what batteries you're using. So what are these 3 types that I've found during my research then? Well, the first one is the most common of the e-assist motors. That's the hub motor. As the name suggests, it's a motor that fits in the hub of the wheel, front or rear. So unfortunately for me, a hub motor just seems to be out of the question. I put it in the too expensive and too complicated box. For those of you that don't know, I have a roll-off hub on the rear wheel of Trini, and that roll-off hub cost me somewhere in the region of about £1,100, I think. So obviously I don't want to be taking that off and fitting an electric assist on the back of there. Front wheels, I only have 20-inch wheels on the front. I'm not aware of anybody who manufactures a hub that will fit on a 20-inch wheel. I'm sure there are, but again, that's where I said I put it in the too difficult box. And I'm also a little bit put off by the idea of having an e-assist motor on one wheel at the front and not on the others. Just feels a bit weird, I don't know why, but I would imagine all the pull is going to be on one side, but who knows. I imagine there are many hundreds of different types of hub motor on the market from different manufacturers, and I dare say there is one out there for a 20-inch wheel. Just doesn't float my boat, if you know what I mean. I think it's just too awkward. So anyhow, that's hub motors out the window. So what are we looking at next? My chair is making some goddamned awful noises. So the second motor type that I saw on the internet, that I unfortunately can't tell you very much about because I haven't been able to find it again. Hopefully one of you guys can tell me what I was looking at. But I saw a motor that fitted sort of kind of just under where my seat is, and that motor was directly fitted onto the chain, so it pulled, or yeah, it wouldn't push on the chain, so it pulled on the chain directly, if you see what I mean. Can't think how else to describe it, but it was midway along the chain. Anybody know what sort of motor that was and whether it's any good? Please comment below. The only way I can think to describe it is like a direct chain drive motor. I wish I'd bookmarked it because I've never been able to find it since. As I say, comments below if you do know what that sort of motor is, guys. Thank you. There's some big clouds about. I hope it's not going to rain. So I managed to get rid of that squeak. It was actually the bracket underneath my seat where the trike folds. Oh, it was getting loud. Stopped for 5 minutes and put some electrical insulation tape around the little clip that holds it shut. It works. It's not squeaking anymore. And the third type of motor that I've been looking at that really has caught my interest, to be honest, is what the industry terms a mid-drive motor. Now I'm guessing they call it that because on most up-wrongs a mid-drive motor is fitted through the bottom bracket in the middle of the frame. However, of course, for me on a trike it would be a front drive motor. Now those of you that know a little bit about my trike and what I've done to it over recent months is that I've fitted something called the FNEO drive, or the GTRO gearbox from FNEO. I'm going to be doing a review of that in the next couple of weeks. I'll tell you a little bit more about it then. But that gearbox is fitted through the bottom bracket on my trike. So again, I've spent a lot of money on that, and to fit a mid-drive motor would mean removing that gearbox, which would be a bit of a shame. But the gearbox at the front cost me, I think, just shy of £500. And obviously the roll-off gearbox at the back, as I said earlier, £1,100. So if it really came down to a choice between the two, then obviously the Efnia would be gone. Because there are other motors that fit on the boom at the front of a trike. You've always got the Shimano steps. I'm sure it's a lovely motor, I really am. I've been looking at it. It looks really, really nice. It fits well on a Scorpion trike. Unfortunately, at the moment, that's well outside my price bracket. In the UK, they're currently looking at over £2,000 to fit one of those. Not having had e-assist before, I'm not really in the market to be spending £2,000 fitting an e-assist to Trini, and then maybe find out that I'm not using it much or I don't really like it. No, I think my budget's going to be a bit smaller than that at the moment. So having read through all the comments on the previous 3 videos, 2 of these type of motors have caught my eye in particular. This is the mid-drive type. And they are the motors from Bafang, and another one from a company called Tongsheng, the TSDZ2. As I say, they're both mid-drive motors, and they're not very expensive. I mean, obviously it depends which model you're buying, but I think we're looking around the £400 or £500 mark. And then obviously you have to buy a battery on top of that, so another couple of £100 for the battery. So why mid-drive motors, and why those 2 in particular? Why the Bafang or TSDZ2? Well, they're the only 2 that I can find of that similar sort of model, where they fit through that bottom bracket without too much hassle. It wouldn't mean that I have to change the trike too much. The installation wouldn't take that long. They're sort of fairly similar in price too. Well, that is, the 250 watt versions of those 2 motors are similar in price. Obviously they get more expensive as you go up and get the more powerful motors. Just wondering where to go. Let's go up this way. So those are the 3 types of motor that I've been able to come up with through my research. There's a hub motor at the back, which I think I'm going to have to discount. The one that I can't remember the name of, that fits directly onto the chain. And then finally the mid-drive motor, which on my trike fits at the front. So I think it was in the comments from part 1 or part 2 of this series that subscriber Fish Wheels gave me the idea for a 4th type of pedal assist, and that 4th type really did grab my attention. It's a fantastic design for starters, and takes no time at all to charge up. And it seemed to be remarkably cheap as well. So, well, here you are, I'll let you have a look at it.
This pair of power leg knee joint support pad is a breakthrough product that allow you to lift your knee easily when you bend or squat with both legs. The power leg knee pads support your thighs and calves, while reducing the pressure on your knees. These pads support your legs, directly providing you with the ability to carry any heavy objects easier than you could without them. They're easy to use and can be worn on the inside or outside of your clothes, using the Velcro type length control. They can withstand a weight of about 20 kilograms each and are effective enough to lighten about 40 kilograms from a person's own weight.
Now I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, now Tim wouldn't be so silly as to go out and buy something like that. would. Hey, you can't run these things down or take the mickey out of them until you've at least tried them. Now I know you think they look cheap and ridiculous and tacky, and you'd be absolutely right. They serve no purpose whatsoever. Words cannot describe how rubbish these things are. Any energy saved in extending my leg is burnt up in having to try and compress the springs in the first place, and the springs are all of about, I don't know, I've seen better springs in a biro pen, to be honest. Thanks, Fish Wheels, you owe me £20. On another note entirely, we've got a pair of power legs if anybody wants to buy them. So anyhow, on a serious note, I'm going to wait for a few days at least to see what your guys' comments look like on this one. As I say, if you could just comment, if you already have an assist of some description, if you can just leave a comment, tell me what sort of assist you've got, what model, make, what batteries you're using, tell me what's good about it, and if you can, tell me what's bad about it as well. And like I said, I'll wait a week or so, and then perhaps we'll make a decision. So the decision on whether I actually get an e-assist has been made. I will be getting e-assist. Probably get back to you as an attachment to another video, because I wouldn't want to bore you all to death with everything being e-assist. Time to get back to doing something else. So on that note, I think that's it for this one, guys. And that's it for the e-assist series. As always, I'd just like to say thank you for all the comments and the inspiration and the ideas that you give me. The whole premise of this little series was to help one another out, not just me, in deciding about e-assist. From some of the feedback I've been getting, it certainly has been helping people out, so it's all good. So if you've liked this little series, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up down below. As I've said before, it doesn't cost anything, and it really does help my channel to grow. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, and you think you'd like to watch me riding a recumbent trike to all sorts of nice places, all over the UK and beyond, then please do think about subscribing. That would be fabulous. Right, I'm going to carry on riding around the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park for a little while longer, because it's such a lovely day. But for now, guys, from me, that's it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers then. Ta-da.